Hey guys, I'm Will
Hi.
Sayer from MovieWeb. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you today. And congratulations on Uppercut. I thought it was great. Um,
Thank you.
I was curious. I would love to hear more about what went into preparing for your respective roles. If there was any, speaking with real life boxing professionals or anything like that. We could start with you, Ving, if you'd like.
It was really the director really knowing the story well and knowing who the characters were. So I think his input, and we had a rehearsal period, that was most important to me, opposed to doing any quote unquote like research. I know quite a few boxers, I've worked with quite a few. So I already had that sort of research in me. But working with this director, his name is Torsen, he really, added quite a bit to my character.
Very cool. And what about you, Louis?
Yeah, I think regarding my character, of course, she has this boxing background, and it was important for me to have, yeah, to be in shape, to know what I'm doing. We're having this training sequences. So I, on the one side, of course, I got into boxing lessons. I trained with a German former world champion, and she trained me. And I also did some gym classes here in LA. And so this was the one part, but the other part was quite like what Ving said. So we had really the rehearsals, we had the readings, and that brought us into the story basically. And as this is not like the common boxing movie where it's about the fight,
Right.
but it's more about our characters, and that's why for me this was more important than the boxing itself.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. Very interesting. And I was curious, I mean, leading up to this movie, did you guys have any sort of favorite boxing drama films? Out the class, whether it's the classic fighting movies or, did anything come to mind, ones that you've always loved? Because there are the classics, but then there are boxing films that are sort of like you said, more about the characters, not necessarily the fighting. So I was curious if you had any favorites from over the years.
Over the years, one of my favorites was Raging Bull
Oh yeah.
because I saw that film and it was a lot about who the characters were, even though there were some great boxing matches in it. But really, I got to know who De Niro was, I got to know who Joe Pesci was. That was what I was more focused on opposed to boxing.
Yeah, of course. What about you, Louis?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, of course, Million Dollar Baby is an iconic movie, and I like that we have also there a strong female character in the lead, and that it's about the woman. So yeah, I mean, this might be one of the greatest for me, for sure.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, Uppercut is a great addition to the genre. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And Ving, I also wanted to mention, I recently spoke to some of the cast of Dope Thief, which I know is coming out soon, including, Brian and Kate Mulgrew. And I
I'm
was
sorry, who's in Dope Thief?
oh, the Apple TV series.
Oh, they
Yeah.
changed the name again. Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, isn't that they're pulling a fast one on you? Yeah, well, you're playing Brian's dad, and so anyways, that series is great. I was curious. I just want if you anything you wanted to share about that, what you're excited for viewers to see in that series, playing.
Well, just like this film, it's about the human condition, the human experience, and the interaction between the characters. So that's what I really like about foreign films as opposed to American.
Very cool. Absolutely. And Louis, I think I read somewhere that you are a pole vaulter as well, and you have, uh, in addition to your acting experience.
I used to be. I'm not anymore. So I was a professional athlete in my youth until I was like about 18. So I finished more than 10 years ago from now. But yeah, I did that when I was young, and yeah, put quite some time into this. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, and here you are acting in these wonderful movies. I was curious, this movie has some, athletics in it. Would you be interested in doing more, given your background, would you be interested in doing more, kind of athletics centered movies, or not
I'm
necessarily?
I mean, this might be like from the point where I start now, a good advantage that I might bring natural, for example, for action movies and stuff. And I would love to do that. But on the other side, I'm also really interested in these character-driven stories and to really, yeah, move people. But of course, I would not say no to a good action movie for sure.
Right, of course. Yeah, totally get it. And Ving, I wanted to mention, I was watching the Oscars, and you see Tarantino up there presenting for Best Director, and of course, Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies. My dad knows every line to it, basically. And I was curious if you've stayed in touch with him at all ever since that iconic movie came out.
Well, no, I haven't watched the Oscars in a couple of years, probably. And I haven't really been in touch with Quentin, but I thank him for having the opportunity to work with him.
Yeah. Do you have any like special stories uh that you
No,
recall from
no, I
that
don't.
shooting that? No. Um and I was also, with Uppercut, I was curious if you guys creating this kind of it starts out, you guys are kind of butting heads at the beginning, which I loved, and then you sort of grow to, you're working with each other. And could you talk about working with each other behind the scenes to create that chemistry? If if there was anything outside of rehearsing that you guys did.
I think we just naturally, thank God, had that chemistry. I
Yeah,
don't know why, but I do feel we naturally had it.
yeah,
Yeah, and this made it easy for us. I mean, we had intense talks even when we were not shooting, and this was like to transfer this then into the scene made it possible that we even improvised. And for me, these were the most, yeah, honest scenes we were doing because, yeah, what Ving said, we had like a natural connection, and this was really wonderful. Yeah.
that's great. Do you have a favorite scene that the two of you shot together? Something you guys maybe still talk about, or like a
Well, for me, the scene in which she's kind of dancing with the heavy bag,
oh
that's
yeah.
one of the most interesting scenes, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one. What
And
about
I
you?
also like the scenes in the locker room because I think they're so intimate, and it's even more, the setting is even more narrow, and it's really just the two of us in this so tiny room. And I really like these, yeah,
Cool.
too.
And Louis, I mean, if there's one thing you hope viewers take away from your character, Tony, what do you hope that is?
I think that especially for my generation, we have here a strong female character, and we all ask for these strong female characters. And I think sometimes then there is one. It's people are a bit like, oh, she's too much. Oh, I'm annoyed by her. But I think this is exactly what she's meant to be. She has to be over the top sometimes. She is getting she's going for what she wants, and she doesn't take a no at the beginning as a no, but she's still trying to get it. And I think this is really brave and can be inspiring for especially young women.
Very cool. Yeah, that's wonderful. And Ving, a lot of folks are excited for that final Mission Impossible movie. Is there anything you can sort of tease about the movie that's coming
I
out?
would say it is very emotional and it really shows a lot about the relationship between Tom and I.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah. Well, I love that rapport you guys have. So that's great. I can't wait to see it. But in the meantime, congratulations again to both of you for Uppercut. Can't wait for everyone else to see it. So thanks for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you.
Thanks.